Okay, hi everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Okay, so today I want to talk about perception. And what made me think about this was today is picture day for my grandson. And everyone knows I have a grandson, and he's my first grandson. And I just love him. I just love that boy. And I realized something. And it's amazing how you can learn even from a child. Because I had picked out his outfit and everything. I mean, I was like, oh, he had his button down shirt and his pants and the shoes I was going to have him wear. And that joker told me, I don't want to wear that. And so I was like, yes, you are. And he was like, I don't want to wear that. And that was a defining moment for me because I realized that I wanted to dress him a certain way because of perception. I wanted it to be perceived that he is loved. He is well taken care of. I always say that to my son. I want people to know he is well taken care of. You know, and I learned something from that. I learned that he doesn't care about those clothes. And most of the clothes that I pick out, he doesn't want to wear. This is so funny to me because he'd be like, I don't want to wear that. I don't like that. And he'd be so serious about it. And so it made me realize, like, who are you trying to impress? Why do you care what other people think? All my life, I've been pretty much the type of person that I don't care what people think. But for some reason, I cared what people thought. And maybe due to, his situation, and I'm not going to go into all that, but um, I am raising him. And I think maybe deep down inside, maybe there's a part of me that's like, I want him to know that I want him to know, and I want others to know that he is loved. And I'll never forget one day when he was a baby, we were in Walmart, and this lady saw us and she stopped and she said, "That's your first grandson." And I was like, "Yeah, how you know that?" And she says, "I could just see it all on your face." So I was showing already. I didn't have to say anything. I was showing that I loved him and that, he that I just loved him. I didn't have to say anything. I showed that. And that reminded me about the movie Fences that Denzel Washington was in. And his son came up to him and says, "Do you like me?" And he said, "Let me explain something to you. It's not my job to like you. You are my responsibility. When I take care of you, when I clothe you, I feed you, I put a roof over your head. That's my way of showing you that I love you." And the way I was brought up, my parents didn't say that. They didn't say I love you. And I used to always think, wow, they don't love me. They don't love me. They don't tell me they love me, so they can't possibly love me. And that's the type of generation that we're raising, where, oh, I want you to tell me that you love me and all this mushy stuff. And I understand, that you want to hear that. But when I got older, I come to realize that my parents were showing me every day that they loved me. When they took care of me, that they loved me. So them saying that they love me would just be icing on the cake. You have a lot of people out here with the perception that they're taking good care of their kids. The perception is that they're taking good care of the kids. They live in this big old fancy house, drive these fancy cars. And I've worked with the school system. I used to teach in the school system. And the children that I would meet lived in these fancy houses. And the stories that I would hear, it would just break your heart. So it's all perception. We want people to think we're kind people. We want people to think we're loving people. We want people to think we're taking care of our children. Perception means nothing if you're not actually doing it. If you're not actually loving them, actually taking care of them. That means nothing. So that little boy taught me something. He don't care about that, all that. He doesn't care about it. And he just had this look. He had this look in his eye. And he was like, I don't want to wear that. And I was like, wow, he really doesn't want to wear. So I let him wear. I was like, pick out what you want to wear. Pick out what you want to wear. And then I remember I showed the outfit to my son before, today, and he said, so you gonna dress him like you dress me, so he can get picked on. Right? I was dressing them. I used to dress my son like, and when I look back at pictures, he had a trench coat on and these stuffy buttoned up shirts, but I grew up in the church. That's another thing. I grew up in the church, and that's the way we dressed. Sunday came, you get dressed up. Picture day, you get dressed up. I mean, if you are old as I am, I'm like 55 now. If you are anywhere near my age, that's just the way it was. But now I'm like, hey, just be you. Just be you. He wanted to put on his little hat and his shirt and his jeans. I said, go on, just put it on. Go on and put it on. We be who you are, baby. Be who you are. Because he has enough time to decide who he wants to be. And that's another thing, is like, you have these parents who are like, I think we try to push on to our children what we wish we were or we wish we had. But there's things have changed. And there's nothing wrong with wanting better for your child. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I see that. But I still believe in those traditional things where you be respectful, you use your manners. That's just the way I was brought up. I had someone told me that they're doing conscious parenting. And I was like, what is that? And so I had to go look that up. Conscious parenting, where they're constantly conscious of what they're saying and what they're doing and how their child is feeling. I'm like, okay. And I could use some of that, because the way I was brought up, we was like, don't speak unless you're spoken to. But I tried to do a little bit better than what my parents did. I asked my grandsons, what would you like to eat? And sometimes I'm like, look, I don't care what you want to eat. This is what I cook. This is what I want to eat. And this is what we're going to eat. You could eat it or don't eat it. I don't care. The old me come back. So I tried conscious parenting. I try to be a little bit more aware. When he says he doesn't want to wear something, I try to respect that. But there's other times like, no, you're not wearing that. That's a weekend outfit. You want to throw on some sweats. I don't like sweats. But excuse me. But this perception of everything is okay. And I just feel like, wow, like, I'm not playing that game. I don't have anyone to impress. I always say I try to impress Jesus, and I don't even think I'm meeting that mark. So why would I care about you? Why would I care about what people think about me? They can't put me in a heaven or a hell. But that child taught me something. And I think a lot of times we think, oh, the way I was brought up, you a child, I don't care what you say. I don't even want to hear your opinion. That's just the way it was back then. But now I'm like, you know what? Tell me what you think. Doesn't mean I have to go along with it. Excuse me, my allergies. It doesn't mean I have to go along with it, but at least I can stop and listen to what you have to say. And think about it. Like when I was growing up, my parents they never apologized. They were wrong as wrong can be. Didn't apologize because I was told they were the adults. Adults are always right. No, adults, I don't know. I don't subscribe to that. I don't think adults are always right. And I think adults, if you are wrong, you should apologize. You should apologize. You know, take the time and listen. We're not always right. We can still learn some things, and I don't know what you want to call it, but that's how I'm dealing with raising my grandson. I have traditions and I stand by them. I stand by them. I was telling somebody, I said, look, I was talking to someone and he was like, I remember when you said to me, because they got a child, and they was like, you said to me, after I've done all I can do, and the child's still screaming, and they just gonna scream. You've done all you can do. What else can you do? I put them in the playpen. Okay, work your soul out. Work your life out. Just work it out. Because I've done all I can do. I told my son the same thing. When you've done all you can do, and she still wants to cry, put her in a playpen and go on about your business because you know that you've done all you can do. She still crying because she wants you. Some of these children, now, see, I'm getting ready to go into something else. Some of these children be trying to control you. They be trying to control you. And I be like telling people who's the parent and who's the child. Well, you got children telling the parent, I don't want this, I want to do that. You don't pay no bills. You was a child. I sit there and I meet parents all the time. They be like, oh, well, I just don't know what to do. They want to stay up all night long. So I'm tired. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Who is the parent and who is the child? The Bible says train up a child in the way he should go. Not child train up a parent in the way he should go. Things gotten all mixed up around here. It's mixed up, messed up. But you sitting there letting your children do whatever they want to do. But that child is going to grow up into an adult, and it's up to us as parents to direct them. When my grandson wants to put something on, most of the time I let him pick out his clothes. But when he wants to put something on that I just think is outrageous, I have to direct him in the right direction. Because, he's representing me. That's even in the Bible. He is representing me when he goes out into the world. When he's not if he doesn't use his manners and he's, acting a certain way, he's representing me. I'll never forget. My daughter was at my school that I was teaching at. And one of the teachers came to my classroom and told me, your daughter cussed me out. I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed because that child was representing me. And to me, by her cussing out the teacher was saying, that I haven't trained my child right. I haven't raised my child right. My child out here cussing out the teachers. It was embarrassing. But the way I was brought up, you can get out here in the street and act a fool if you want to. Because you know what's going to happen. And now you got children just doing whatever they want to do. Parents, I saw this lady. She had a grocery cart full of groceries. Child acted a fool. And she left that cart. I said, I wish I would. I wish I would have did all that. And you think I'm going to leave this cart? Oh, you got another thing coming. Because we about to take a trip to the bathroom. And everybody know if you old school, you know what that means. We about to take a trip to the bathroom. Because you about to get a lesson. That's just me. People be like, oh, you so hard. These new school people. Oh, you so hard. I don't think I'm that hard. I'm hard, but I'm not that hard. I'm not as hard as my parents were. I'll tell you that. But, times have changed and everybody wants to do things in a different way and you have your right to do that. But I just think that, like I said, perception. because there's always going to be someone out there that won't agree with the way that I raise my children, that won't agree with the way that you raise your children. And that's their right. That's their right. Who cares? Because they're not raising your child. But it's all about perception. But I just thought that was something else. It just really taught me a lesson with him. And I don't know if I honed in the point or not. Because I feel like I was kind of like maybe all over the place. Sometimes I just get in the zone of what I'm feeling, But he taught me something. Who cares what people think? Who cares what people think? And I'm sure the people that are raising their children any way they want to, they feel the same way. And they have that right. They have that right. But like I said, I think some of these kids you got to hone back in because they're children. And we have to steer them in the right direction. And boy, is this video just getting long. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. Y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, my friends. You'll see I got in another room. I was like, ooh, we got some red in here. Peace and love. Okay. Bye.